Well, I see you, Jeremy. No idea how well this is going to work because the internet isn't great here, but it's something. I didn't get to put out a video this week because if you've been following Instagram and, well, YouTube and Facebook and everything else, you'll know that I lost it. I made a really dumb rookie mistake that I can't say I've never lost files before, but in this case, I knew better and ended up losing 3 weeks worth of videos. So that's fun. However, I'm going to get them sent off and see if a professional can't extract them, and hopefully they can fire up that drive and get it going again and at least pull some of the video off. That would be great. I have a whole lot of 4K video on there. But in the meantime, we're working on the, what does it say? The Harvester of Sorrow dually. And, you know, Ram Air by Pontiac here. I didn't build this. This was as purchased. Quite creative. But what I'm working on today is several things. This cooling system is completely dry, which doesn't surprise me at all. Add into that he's done some homemade stuff to this, including, I think, put on the wrong water pump, serpentine system, and I'm pretty sure this has an older school water pump on it. But I have a new serpentine pump, so we'll compare. But another issue is I was driving along and I parked it and I heard what sounded like a spinning sound, and it would slowly increase when the engine RPM would increase, but you know, I could be sitting in park and it would still do it. And then when I turned the engine off, you would hear it just kind of spin, kind of like, well, to me it sounded like a clutch fan. However, there is not a clutch fan on this truck. It's been converted to electric because he was having cooling issues. Can't imagine why that would be. Fact that it's empty? Maybe. Fact that he had the wrong water pump? Maybe. Or who knows? But he put a whole electric fan system on here, and in the process, the wiring is horrendous. He's got actual house pipe, like cast iron pipe, threaded into places so that he can modify it. And anyway, the noise I was hearing, the harmonic balancer just left chat. So that'll be fun. Like, who knew that the harmonic balancer would just literally come free and just spin? So yeah, that's fun. But I do love me a 454 big block. Jeremy, I think this goes beyond shade tree. This guy had some creativity for sure. I've got all the receipts from the first owner. So it was an Oklahoma truck, and then it was purchased to be a hauler, like a camper hauler. And they spent the extra bucks on a few things. They had the second battery in here. They had extra tow stuff, hitch stuff on the back. At some point, this truck had the love of being somebody's, you know, country rig with their camper behind it. The seats, it's only got 70-some thousand miles on it for 89. That's pretty good. Yeah, it's got AC, cruise, all that. But then someone in Kansas acquired it, and this guy, well, he is the self-proclaimed jack of all trades. So he deleted the EGR stuff. That doesn't exist anymore. I don't think he did a tune on it. The original owner, when he bought this to put the camper in it, actually put a the overdrive on the TH400. So it had the basically the secondary overdrive bolted onto the back with the little switch and everything in there. All the switch is still there, but they've unbolted the $2,500 piece, which mates to the back of the transmission and gets you that one extra gear. Very cool feature. I wish it was still on here. And I guess eventually maybe it could go back, but not on my budget. Anyway, so they had a jet chip in the little computer. These have the old primitive computer. I guess it's OBD1, but it's really it's just enough to run the ignition timing and the TBI. That's really all it controls. And right now it runs really crappy. So any number of cheap little sensors, right, could go bad. But I'm really narrowing it down to the stuff he's done. I mean, anything with iron pipe hooked to it, I'm probably going to take out and replace. So I've got a new cooling sensor, which may help it run better. Supposedly, this guy who had it before me, he only had it for a couple of weeks. He went through and took the TBI apart and rebuilt it, basically just cleaned it up, re-gasketed it, and mounted her back in here. So I don't think that's the problem, but it definitely needs to be timed better. And it has no fluid in the cooling system, so there's no problem there. Let's see, the Hydro Boost, it's got a pretty good leak in it. And when I got it, it had no brakes, but I purged the ABS system and boom, I have at least front brakes. I can feel them, they're good. I'll have to recheck the back ones because I'm pretty sure I saw a brake lining just eject itself going down the road. But I'll double check all that. He's got some other stuff that he's garbaged in here that we'll have to go through and figure out. It's not a horrible truck, but it's not perfect either. Where did this go? Another sensor of some sort. Awesome. When they took all the EGR stuff out, they did not, however, remove all the piping and everything else. So I've got just open stuff everywhere under here, which not a big deal, but just kind of clogs up the engine bay. All stuff we're gonna fix. Well, looks like I got 7 of you guys hanging in, so thanks for dropping in. Sorry about the video, amateur mistake on my part this week. I had it 3/4 of the way done and took a little break. When I resumed, all of a sudden, no hard drive. And usually what I do is I have everything on my laptop, and from there I edit the entire video, and then when the video is basically ready to be exported, I then take all of that and I move it into the hard drive, the separate hard drive. Well, stupid me, I didn't do that this time, and I was running just off the hard drive to save space, and it came back to bite me in the butt. So my fault. Amateur mistake, won't do it again. In the meantime, those videos, like I said, are getting sent out to get recovered, hopefully. But good news, the entire video on this truck, thankfully, didn't get deleted from the SD card. So I have a few days where I'm not going to be specifically busy doing something, meaning I'm traveling. So while I'm traveling, I'm going to be editing, which means you might actually have a video next week. I'm pretty excited about that. The fact that I have pretty much all the video for this truck means you will have a new Revive and Drive style video ready to go next week. Assuming I can get this thing running better by then. But we'll see. But speaking of traveling, so Duct Tape Drags is coming up. It is not next, well, what is this? This is Monday. So it's not this week, it's next week is Duct Tape Drags. And that means we're traveling from northeast Oklahoma, traveling along Route 66, and I believe whoever I jump in the line with will be, hey, Jay's here, and fixing on it. So whoever I jump in with, we're 66, and then we're gonna jump down. We want to go see, well, I saw Roswell last year, but it'd be nice to see it with the museum open. We'd like to see a few other little sites along the way. I personally have a desire to go check out Tombstone. It's something that Jay and I have talked about. He wanted to do it. I wanted to do it last year and didn't make that jog over. Several other places I'd like to go, but more when it's like a vacation. But all right, because of duct tape drags, I got multiple offers on vehicles on where they're at, and actually bought way too many of them. So I purchased like 4 vehicles in a week, and all of them sight unseen. But one of them is running and driving with a fairly newish crate 350 in it, and it's kind of special. It's got a unique history. It's very low mileage for an 80s vehicle, and I will be hopping a plane tomorrow and flying in to get it and then driving it home. And if everything goes well, it may end up being a duct tape drag vehicle. It's a very unconventional drag style vehicle, but it's I need it to run and drive. This one actually he claims it has AC, runs great. We'll see. But either way, I'm going to go get it. It's kind of more on the expensive side compared to what I usually buy. However, it's got all the documentation, and it has a fairly new engine in it. And I don't know, I trust the seller. The seller's a good dude. So I'll be off to do that tomorrow. Now, where I'm headed up country, there's a lot of YouTubers between here and there. So if I can get in the door to a few places, I'll go ahead and say hi and stop in and see what they're up to, maybe lend a hand wrenching, and then work my way back home. My goal being that I will have this video ready for you to come out next week, and I'll try to get it out as early as possible because I have to hit the road Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. Sorry, I was trying to read it, but this thing doesn't leave them up there very long. Let me see if I can change that. I see Kim. Thank you for the congratulations. 6%. Yeah, no name. I just didn't have it on the schedule. Don't have anything to take anyway. Bisbee. All right, fixing on it. Send me the info on your buddy's hotel down in Bisbee. Okay, Tombstone. I would say it's between the state line border and Tucson. So however far that is. Spiders here. Hondo Valley. I don't know if I did that. I thought I did that last year. All I know is Jay and I accidentally took about the same route last year, and accidentally it was the most beautiful drive I'd ever seen. I wasn't expecting it when I went. What happened was I was in Amarillo, so following the interstate and Route 66, and in Amarillo I decided to cut south to go to breakfast. And when I did, I found this place called Buff's. So I had to go. Well, when I left Buff's, I just typed in Tucson, Arizona and hit go. Well, next thing I know, the vehicle is traveling a different route than what I had left. So I left and went south to go to the restaurant. And instead of going back north and then west, it just said keep going west. So I followed it and accidentally fell into the most beautiful drive I've ever seen going west. It was just gorgeous. So I think that's what Jay's talking about, and that's pretty much what I'm wanting to do this year, is the same type of route. We may kick off course to go see a thing or two, but for the most part, the goal will be get there. Yep, that's Hondo Valley. Okay, so Jay confirms it. Now there's some stretches through there that is just nothing. And in other places, it's just beautiful. So I'll take the beautiful with the nothing, and it's worth it. But so update on what we're doing. I've got an 89 dually, so 1 ton GMC called the Harvester of Sorrow. This thing's got a 454 big block. It's got a TBI, unfortunately, one of the first years for the TBI. And it kind of runs, but kind of doesn't. And it doesn't cool really at all. Part of the reason is there's nothing in it, literally red dirt. This has been in Kansas, so now I'm really worried if this is just rust or if it's red dirt. In the meantime, looking at this water pump, I think it's the wrong water pump. I think it goes V-belt, not serpentine belt. So I've got another one just in case. And then of course the harmonic balancer just decided to leave. That's okay. I've got another one of those too. But this guy has put household iron pipe and fittings into this truck to adapt things to make them work the way he wanted them to work. Unfortunately for me, that doesn't serve the purpose that I need them for. So honestly, what I think I need is a pipe wrench, like a monkey wrench. And I'm gonna see if I got one real quick. Hang tight, guys. I need to get all my toolboxes moved over here. They're still all in storage and buried behind a bunch of stuff. So we'll make do with what we got. By the way, I'm going to be putting them back on the website because I just got them in literally today. The new smaller logo Buff's Garage stickers are in. I'll be taking those with me to Duct Tape Drags. And then of course I got the normal Buff's Garage sticker. My goodness, I think I got an old bag of those. Let me look. I do. I got a whole bag of these. So if you're looking for Buff's Garage stickers, buffsgarage.com. Let's see, last week guys, I was working real hard on those videos that you didn't get to see. And if you followed Instagram, Facebook, all that, you'll know that I went to Burnout Wars. And that was in Jay, Oklahoma, which is literally just across the lake. You can see it. It takes almost 45 minutes to get there, but you can see it from here. And apparently it's ran by Zach and LB. He was a Hoonigan guy. I honestly didn't know that much about Burnout Wars before I went, but I learned a lot after the fact. Zach is a cool dude, very hospitable, And LB, she's awesome. Both of them were great hosts. And when I told them who I was and what I was doing there and supporting Skids for Kids, they ended up giving me a VIP pass and pretty much let me go wherever I wanted. I mean, you know, they have the barriers up so that the cars stay inside the barriers while they're burning out. Well, I was between the fence of people and the barrier, and he told me I could go over the barrier as long as I did so. I could have literally been in the pit with the burnout car, but hit by a burnout car, so I stayed behind the barrier. But it was really cool to get that kind of access and, I mean, get the VIP treatment. It was kind of nice. And not knowing, I guess, the history of Zach and LB and Burnout Wars and all that, it was awesome to later find out who these people are, I should say, not were, but are, and you know, kind of the legacy they already have in the automotive world, and of course, what they're bringing to the Burnout series right now is just amazing. They have some pretty awesome vehicles, and again, great hosts. What's the guy's name? Weston Champlin, something like that. He's out of Kansas. I met him there. Nice guy, very much big time YouTuber, and you know, I know a big time YouTuber or two, and Weston's a pretty cool kid. I mean, he's young and full of exciting ideas, and got to watch him go take his buddy's car out there and destroy it. So there's that. But it was a good time. I actually had a lot of fun. Skids for Kids had 2 vehicles win, and the third one I think should have won. He had a hell of a tire fire. It's in all the Burnout Wars videos right now. And Casey Ladd is an awesome guy. I love his 2nd gen car. It's very cool. And I went ahead and sponsored him just to help him get some tires or something. So him throwing out some support for Buff's Garage channel, but really go out and support him, because that kid puts that car through hell. He not only drives it to every event, he then swaps out the tires, does massive burnouts until the car is on fire, and then goes out, changes tires, drives it home. So if there's ever a more dedicated burnout guy, I wouldn't know him. But they do it for Skids for Kids, which is a hell of an organization. They're set to raise over $100,000 for children's hospitals this year. They do toy drives every year. Just a great group, and of course, a lot of fun. They get to do burnouts. So, awesome. See that coming up. I'm not going to do a whole thing on Skids for Kids or the Burnout Wars, but you know what I'm going to do? When I finish this video, so I make sure I get it out there for you guys this week, I may take all the Burnout Wars videos and just kind of leave them uncut and put it out to members. And there's several of you now, and I appreciate that. That keeps the lights on. But I'll just put it out there to members, and if you guys want to see it, it's mostly uncut. It won't be, you know, overly edited like a normal video. It will probably have copyright issues because of all the music they were playing, so it will not be monetized. But by you guys being members, that's the monetization. You guys are paying for it by just being a member, and I appreciate that. So I'll probably just do that. I'll give you the full uncut version of it. If you like burnout stuff, I've got almost every vehicle at Burnout Wars, every fire, smoke, all of it. So we'll put that out to you. Yeah, I'm not going to destroy this dually making it a burnout truck, but a dually burnout truck would be fun, no doubt. The key to a burnout vehicle is high revving engine, strong transmission, enough gear in the rear end to be able to keep those tires just lit up, because if your tire speed slows down, they dock you points. I get it. Do it have to be so loud? But it needs to be super lightweight. You got to be able to throw that thing around the ring. And they had some good old boys in their Yee truck show up because it was Lifted Truck Nationals. And what I noticed is most of them with over 1,000 horsepower trucks, but they're big OE trucks with the crew cabs and all that, they couldn't get their trucks to spin around the arena there. And the whole point of that is to get your vehicle from corner to corner. Apparently it's pouring concrete day. Who knew? Anyway, they were, yeah, the big trucks just aren't able to jump around. And it's basically, I've learned the point system now is all about keeping your tires spinning fast. If there's any lag at all, that's a problem. If you hit a barrier and it doesn't disrupt the whole thing, then you can keep going and no deduction. If you hit a barrier and move it, that's a problem. If you hit a barrier and it slows you down, that's a problem. If you stop at all, if you reverse at all those are points off. But basically, keep the engine hot, moving, spinning those tires, melt the tires, you want them to blow, and you want to move around that arena as much as possible. So if I do build a burnout vehicle, I'd like something with a little bit of booty so it'll have a nice big swing, but it needs to be lightweight. It needs to be able to make a lot of tire smoke really easily, and I need an engine that'll do like 7,000 RPM all day long. The key I'm understanding from Andrew is methanol. Run methanol, keeps the engine cool, and just hit the, throttle and go. Let's see, if you look up Ford B150, I don't like that these chats don't stay up. They're literally up for 10 seconds or less. Red and white one. Oh, you guys are talking about something completely different. Well, I don't want to stop your conversation. Okay, fixing on and bringing something to duct tape drags. Awesome. Well, I'm not 100% sold on what I'm bringing. I know what I want to bring. I want to bring something ridiculous that's fairly quick or at least does a decent burnout. Right now, I don't have that. I am going to leave tomorrow on a plane to go get a vehicle that was possibly going to be a contender for duct tape, but it's not necessarily going to be fast, and it's not necessarily going to do burnouts. So, doesn't seem like the right vehicle, but I've already said I'm going to buy it, and I've already got the plane ticket. It's non-refundable, so I'm going to go and pick it up anyway. After that, we'll figure out what we want to do for duct tape. I mean, there's something about driving a vehicle with cruise control and AC that sounds pretty appetizing, driving across the country out to a desert. But then again, when you show up and park in the parking lot of the drag strip and the vehicle is not very drag worthy, I don't know. Where am I flying into? Well, that would give it away, I think. I don't think I want to give it away yet. Let's just say there's a lot of YouTubers between me and there, and some of them you've seen on this channel before. So we will see how many I bump into along the way. Don't worry, you'll see. It's going to be on Instagram and Facebook and all that tomorrow. But the good news again, I found all the video for this truck, so you'll have a new video this coming week. And in the meantime, up on the social medias. Just making sure you weren't landing locally. Well, fixing on it, where's local? Just remind me. I got so much noise behind me I can't even pay attention. Yeah, I've used Google Drive and I actually pay for it, but the problem with Google Drive is without a good internet connection, it's slow. Um, and that's not what I'm looking for. I'm using 4K, and slow is not a good thing. So don't worry, Jay from Irish Outlaw Garage, he definitely, well, reminded me in the only way he can to not be a dumbass and basically don't put everything on a HD or HHD, whatever it was. Don't put it on that. I usually use the internal laptop memory. I offload the stuff that's already on the computer onto something else, and then I keep the video on the laptop. For whatever reason this time I got lazy, didn't do it, bit me in the butt. I won't do it again. All right. I've talked long enough. I should probably actually work on this. Man, this thing is a mess. Oh, that's right. I was looking for a pipe wrench. I have one around here somewhere. I'll keep looking. When you have to get the plumbing tools out to work on your truck, that's something special. Yeah, a well taken care of. It was brand new out of the box. It had just those 3 videos on it, and that was it. Granted, it's a lot of HD video, but it was like a 10 terabyte or something like that. To me, that's not that much video. Anyway, brand new out of the box. Try buying Western Digital around here. It's not easily located, so you have to order it. And the one I had fail was Chinese garbage. Not that they're all not from China, but just wasn't the best scenario. I found the best one I could find locally. Talked to several people, and this one is not the worst. It's got pretty good reviews, but at the end of the day, it's what I could find. And again, it's just a backup. I won't be trying to use it as the main one. Come on, monkey wrench. There we go. I see no problem with any of this. Well, here's the main problem. So this computer has this style plug on it. And yet it's got something else hooked here. Yeah, that's perfect. I don't know. Guys, I'm telling you, I buy the worst crap. This truck's kind of worth it because it's a decent truck. Nice. But you got to fix everybody else's mistakes before you can make it decent. All right, well, it's one of those, you got to take this off to get to that. That's fine. All right. They have me beat. No. There is a Sasquatch hunting season here in Oklahoma, but he's protected, so I wouldn't want to. I don't think I'd want to hunt the Sasquatch here. He's probably got more friends than I do. I know several folks are excited for No Name again this year. Sorry I can't make it, but I can tell you that when I was first starting out, trying to get subs, trying to meet new friends, and of course YouTubers, No Name was the place to do it. A guy could go from a couple of subs to over 1,000 subs just within a month or two. It took us a while to get there, some of us, but we got there. And then of course getting to the event, that was kind of hard. I mean, it's one thing to talk about it on the internet, it's another thing to actually go do it. But that first year we had a good time. Oh yeah, that's nice. We had a good time that first year. Second year I brought 2 vehicles because I wanted to up the game a little bit. And we did. We had a good time then. But I then back to back went straight to duct tape drags. And not only was that a well, it's just a lot of driving, but on top of that, it was a lot of money. And this whole YouTube thing doesn't pay that well. I mean, I did quit my job, but I quit my job because I believe that you guys are going to make me just enough money to keep going. I'm not trying to get rich. Not even really trying to get famous. It just, I guess it kind of goes with it. If you want to be a YouTuber, oh wow. If you want to be a YouTuber, you kind of have to have some fame. Wow. Wow. That's supposed to be in there. It's nice. Mail's here. Well, my fancy lead pipe mostly plugged up. Plumbing pipe. Because every cooling system in a vehicle should have household plumbing pipe. Let's see here. Let's take this one off. And this isn't the only plumbing pipe. They've also got the overflow in this spout here. I'm not even sure if that's how this is supposed to be set up because I've never seen a TBI big block, but it's got 2 radiator caps. I just don't think that's right. There we go. I wanted to go a more clean and simple route with this big block, and I thought about pulling the intake and putting a carb on it. Of course, that means I got to change the distributor. And I asked Dalton straight up, and usually he's the pull the computer junk out and put a carb on it, and he said, leave it alone. Problem with leaving it alone is it doesn't run very good. I think it runs rich, and everything I've read says it needs this coolant sensor. So that's why I'm trying to get to all this garbage. This homemade setup here. But then again, I saw Dalton bought a truck with an LS in it the other day. I can't imagine he's coming to the dark side. $101. JB's here. Yep. Harvester of sorrow, bringing so much sorrow. You know, I wasn't going to leave that as the name because it just sounds so depressing. But then once, you know, I figured out Jay at Irish Outlaw Garage, real quick, he's a big music guy, plays in bands, all that. He was like, it's a rock song. It's like, oh, okay. At that point, it just made sense. But the more I dig into this thing, it has earned its name over and over and over. Harvester of sorrow. It's gonna make me cry. Well, turns out that's not even the one I needed. So he has an all-new wire ran, and I don't know why. I'm not sure what this one goes to. Looks like a temperature sensor. It's just... Did I mention the radiator had nothing in it? One-eyed cat. Hey, welcome. I lost it just when it popped up. Low key, welcome. So we're just working on this 89 GMC dually with a 454 big block TBI. 89 was that crossover between you might get a square body or you might get an OBS, a GMT 400. And this just happens to be the GMT 400, so the newer version versus the square body. But that 89 to 91, anywhere between 88 and 91 is when they introduced this platform. So you could get the new one or you could get a square body, just depends on what you ordered and how you ordered it. And a lot of the bigger trucks went ahead and became this style. And then stuff like the Suburban and all that, they stayed the square body for a while. But we need these chats to stay on longer. Somebody contact YouTube and tell them to fix that. If it harvests sorrow, wouldn't it bring me joy? All I know is every time I come back to work on it, it brings me joy the instant that I start it and it fires off. And then immediate sadness whenever something else breaks. Most of it is somebody else's bad mechanic work. When you take the EGR system out of these, you're supposed to have your computer reflashed. Not knowing if it still has a jet chip in it or not, I just don't know. I haven't dug into it that far. But I contacted a guy who does reprogramming for these, specific to just tuning them up, making them run a little better, or removing the EGR system, whatever it is. And I contacted him directly and said, you know, it's $250 to have you do this. I don't even know what's been done to this engine. And he flat out said, you don't have it to reprogram it. He says, pull that little tan wire apart and advance your timing just a few degrees. And he said, basically it'll start running smoother because the EGR and all that's not in there. He said, when it sounds like it's running really good, don't worry about setting it at 0 like the factory says. Advance it a few degrees until you think it sounds good. So tune by ear, lock it down, hook that tan wire back up, and it should run better. So I haven't done that yet, but I wasn't convinced I didn't need this cooling sensor, which I'm about to replace. I appreciate all you guys hanging in there. Sorry again, I didn't have a video for you this week. I feel really bad about it, especially because it was almost done. And not only do I want to keep you guys entertained, but I need to bring new people to the channel because I sat stagnant for long enough that I've lost some of my regulars. And even though they're still subscribed, they're not watching. And it's okay, I'll get them back, but it'd be nice to have some new ones. Sorry I'm missing the chat, so if there's something good, just let me know. That is in there. Need a longer wrench. So much homemade junk in here makes it difficult to even get to anything. This bumper sticks out like 3 feet. There we go. Double wrench trick works every time. Well, I know some of you guys are fans of Pole Barn Garage. I don't know if you noticed, but poor Dalton just had a bad day. He had a decent running Pontiac engine in his Buick. And that's another one that he took 2 piles of garbage and basically made 1 pile of garbage. But he actually put some time and effort into that car to where it's going to be pretty decently put together. Remarkably better than some of the stuff he drives. However, he decided to get some Butler performance goodies that their specialty is Pontiac parts, Pontiac engine parts. And kind of had an epic failure. Wow, that is disgusting. Anyway, is the cooling system supposed to have actual fluid in it? Because this one doesn't. All right, brand new. Yep. We're gonna put this one in there. And then I'm gonna figure out what to do about this other hole. Anyway, as I was saying, Dalton got his Sky Goat, getting ready to put it on the road. And he's actually a lot safer guy than he may seem on camera. He'll make sure it has good working brakes and good tires and that kind of stuff. He's sketchy, but he's not that sketchy. He wants to get there safely and, you know, get his family there safely, and most of all, make sure no other drivers were injured. But he ended up having that failure. Started putting compression into his cooling system and flushed the cooling system like a volcano just by revving the engine up. And that's what happens when you don't get a good seal on your heads to your block. For those that don't know, if you don't have a good seal between your head and your block, you can start pushing coolant or water into your oil places and combustion and or oil into your cooling places. So neither is a good thing. You want to keep the oil on the oil side and water on the water side. And since he was pushing combustion into his cooling places, it ended up shooting out like a geyser, which is a pretty common sign of a head gasket leak. I've seen a lot of these modern cars, like a 3.1 or a 3.6 out of a, what is it, an Impala, the modern ones. For whatever reason, they all seem to get head gasket leaks. I don't know why GM built such shitty cars. I don't think their old stuff is bad, but their new stuff's apparently garbage. All right, let's see here. Red RTV, that's what you want to see in your cooling system. They had bad heads. Well, that's a whole lot of bad heads, because I've seen a lot of them on Marketplace for sale. And the only reason why I see them at all is because I type in like car, and then I set the top price at under $1,000, and next thing you know, I get all these crappy cars with head gasket problems. And yeah, I could fix them and put them back on the road, but I'd feel guilty if some mom and her kids are stuck on the side of the road because I didn't fix the head gasket right. And I don't want to get stuck with a pile of garbage like that. At least when I buy older stuff, it'll resell, even if it's not perfect. Like this truck. If I can get it to where I'm fairly comfortable with it, I could turn around and flip it and not be upset about it. Like somebody would buy this and finish doing whatever they want to do to it, or just put it out on the farm. It'd be a good truck. It wouldn't hurt my feelings, because it's just a truck doing truck things. Need to get a vise. Let's see, got 22 of you watching. Awesome. 09 Ecotech. Yeah, so apparently in 2013, when that was the garbage year for that Ecotech engine. See you, JB. Drive safe. Rod's Terations. What's up? Casey the Lad. Welcome. Guys, go check out Casey the Lad. He's the tire fire king. I don't know what the specific prescription is to take your car and make a lot of burnout smoke, to which then turns into fire, but he is the burnout doctor. So learn from Casey. If your car's not on fire at the end of your burnout, you're doing something wrong. Well, tires anyway. You don't want the front end burned down. Oh, Kim fixes things. She's had a nugget here. Next, cars and cussing. Well, that's a J Irish Outlaw question. Kim says the aluminum head warps if the engine overheats, a small coolant leak or hard driving is enough to destroy it. Yeah, Casey says don't only set the tires on fire. Here's what I'll say. I've never seen anyone so consistently catch their tires on fire as Casey, and it impresses the heck out of me. I enjoy watching it very much. And he has no shortage of tire fires. So he's got video out there from Burnout Wars. If you go check out Burnout Wars, you can see him lighting his tires on fire. He also did a gender reveal that went from blue to fire real quick. So I don't know what that says about the child, but it definitely was epic. Yep, we gotta get a device. Looks like the front end on this old girl's worn out too, so. Oh, I'm missing stuff. Hold on. What am I missing? Yeah, I don't see how Casey cannot call his kid tire fire. Hey, it's Jeff. Since I saw Jeff in the chat, take this moment to do an unboxing video. How about that? Lugnutguys.com. I don't get a lot of new toys ever. I'll buy garbage all day. I love to repurpose garbage. But I feel like there's a project coming up that regardless of what this goes on, I mean, I know what I bought it for, but who knows where they're going to end up. But thanks to lugnutguys.com, check them babies out. Those are going to just be cool on pretty much anything. Well, anything with this pattern anyway. So I can't wait to put some tires on here. Extra wide. And I got some center caps for it too. But all I can do is say thank you to Jeff. He got me a heck of a deal. Oh, look at this. It's even got a little hairnet. Lugnutguys.com. Go check them out. And he even got me the lug nuts, so we're way ahead. Jeremy, you didn't know they did that. Well, I'm telling you, if you don't see it on their website, lugnutguys.com, send them a message and they'll try to find you something. I kind of told him what I was looking for, and he kicked back a couple of ideas, and we settled on this idea. And, you know, the price was right, and the lug nuts were right. So we're going to make them. That's just the thing is, he's got lots of options, lots of different fitments. So if you have a particular vehicle or bolt pattern or a certain size width that you're trying to get, you want taller tire or taller wheels, you want to upsize to like 16s or 17s. Ben. Yeah, thank you, Ben. Lug Nut Guys does have us featured there and send you right to our merch site. So I appreciate them for that. And yeah, good deal on wheels and center caps, any kind of accessories, and of course, lug nuts. So I can say I got new nuts at lugnutguys.com because I got them. They're over there. But I wanted to show you guys the wheels because I'm ready to put them on something, but I don't have anything for them to fit on right now. I saw somebody say, hey, sorry, I missed it. Kim got some open end lugs for her mags. Richard, hello. I mean, I'm telling you, yes, you can go to Amazon, you can go to O'Reilly's, you can go wherever, but if you can keep one of our guys, car guys, guy that supports us and at the same time loves to do this, if you can keep him in business just by getting your lug nuts there, I guarantee you they're not going to be better priced. And unless O'Reilly's has them on the shelf, exactly what you're looking for, not really doing you any good if they got to order them. Lugnutguys.com, they'll drop ship them right to you. So if you haven't used them, go check them out. I use them. I think Jeff's an awesome guy. All right. Have we figured out what we're doing yet? Not really. So this is supposed to be that, which I think was supposed to be this. Not quite sure what they were doing here. You got any garbage we're working with here? That's the old one. I'm not quite sure where he has that one running. Back to there. Changes color, because that's what you want. You want it to change color. Oh, and then it's hooked to nothing. So, more garbage. Come on, guys. Really? Seriously. So at this point, I'm just sealing the hole. We can do more with it later. Hopefully it's not anything important. I want to get some coolant in this thing. I got to figure out this water pump issue. Good catch. Hey, thanks, Jeff. So he says use the code BUFF. You'll get free shipping under $35 because anything over $35 is already free. So you can get some free shipping on your new lug nuts. Just go look at your lug nuts. If you need them, go hit up lugnutguys.com. Tell them what you're looking for, what you need. And if it's less than 35 bucks, which is a great deal, I'm telling you, put in my code and get free shipping. That's why I like working with guys like Jeff, because he's going to take care of you guys as much as he takes care of me. And so I'm more than happy to take care of him too. I'm real excited about those wheels. And they're the right bolt pattern that I can use them on several different vehicles if I end up needing to. Because if you haven't noticed, when you recycle a car every week, bringing in new vehicles to work on, sometimes it's nice to have just a regular set of wheels and tires just hanging out. Because it takes a little bit to go to the tire store. I'm not big time enough to have my own tire machine. Although, if you guys want to get somebody to sponsor me to put a free tire machine in my shop, I will use the heck out of it. One of my first jobs growing up, besides paperboy, after that, was a mechanic at a tire shop. And I say mechanic loosely because that's what they called me, but really I just did oil changes and such. But I did a whole lot of tires, including the agricultural tires, which if you've ever done agricultural tires with calcium, you'll know that you hate it just as much as I did. They're heavy, it's back-breaking, that's why they always have the young guys do it, and I was the young guy. Richard, Tim, oh, Tim Windsor, in the house. Mech 7.3, so Mech, you missed it earlier. Yes, this one's live, so it's not really a video, but it is live. However, I was announcing to everybody that I did find the footage for this truck. It was not lost. I mean, a version of it's lost, but I happen to have it still on my SD card. God, I hope it's still there after all this. I did look earlier today and it was there, so I will back it up this evening to make sure I have it, and then I'm on a plane tomorrow, and hopefully during that flight I'll be able to start editing and then be able to kick that video out to you early enough next week that we can be headed to Duct Tape Drags and I don't have to worry about getting a video out to you. Because I'm headed to Duct Tape Drags next week. But this week, gonna go see some sights, go on an airplane, and then take a very long 8 or 10 or maybe 12-hour drive home. Just depends on which route I take and which YouTuber I stop to visit along the way. I know I've checked this before. Yeah. Got a lot of gas in it. But this thing was just dumping fuel in it whenever I first got it to go. That TBI was running really, really rich. So I have no doubt when I pulled all the plugs, they're going to be just carboned up. And you shouldn't get that out of a TBI, but we got that out of a TBI. I wish I knew where this went. Anywho. Okay. Should we decide to pull this pump or just fill it up? I guess I got to figure out a water jug solution. I don't have a hose here yet. You know, they say, where my hose at? I'm looking for my garden hose to fill this. It's going to be a pain in the ass. Because it's empty. It's alright, I'll figure it out. The new shop woes, I gotta tell you, it's learning what I have, what I don't have. I'm missing my whole toolbox. I don't have water here yet. I mean, I have water, but it's not ran to here, so let me see. There is a faucet and a garden hose out there, so maybe I can run it back this way. Or at least fill up a container to fill this. All right. Well, I hope you guys are caught up. Let's see if I've missed any comments. Hey, Low Buck Club on the Discord. Thanks. Yeah, Ben Pack actually sent Dalton a lift as well, but when he put it in his floor, it ripped the floor up. Alan, nice to see you. Let's see. Jeremy, are the injectors stuck open? Well, maybe, but it doesn't look like it. So I'm getting variable pressure depending on how the engine's running at the time, and what I'm noticing is it fires off really rich, somewhat to be expected, but then it never tapers back off, and if it does taper off, it almost kills the engine completely. So part of it is timing, and I know that. I can adjust the timing, but it said I needed a new coolant sensor, and or there's a sensor over here for throttle position. So we started with the cooling sensor because it's the cheapest, basically. And I got that switched out. Now, if it's the throttle position sensor, we can always change that. It could be the whole TBI's junk. The guy said he rebuilt it, which I'm sure he just cleaned it up and stuff. But there's no real adjustment to it. So it is what it is. And with the 454, you got a bigger injector than you have maybe on your TBI 350, 305, whatever, 4.3. So it's got a bigger injector to make sure there's plenty of fuel. Everything looks okay, except I've got a lot of screws and bolts in places where I should have vacuum lines. So we need to make sure we don't have a vacuum leak. And when it comes time to test it, I'll do the wrong thing, and I'll spray a little bit of this around the base and around those vacuum lines, and if they don't deteriorate right away, then we'll at least see if we've got an increase in RPM. Fixing other people's problems. So much fun. But what it's going to give us is a big block dually, low mileage big block dually. Like I said, no tears in the seats or really any of that. Decent shape. Has been heavily modified to serve specific purposes. It's got the big crane that folds out in the back. We've got a spare tire mounted on the roof. God forbid I ever have to change the spare. And this monstrosity of a bumper that sticks out for 3 feet, but don't actually pull on it, because the previous owner tried that and almost ripped the whole bumper off because it's held on with like 3 bolts. Garbage. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go figure out a water solution so I can water in this thing, and then maybe start downloading some video and start editing. How's that sound? You guys want a new video coming up, right? Jeremy, it would be an apocalypse survival vehicle if I would go ahead and switch it over to points ignition and carburetor, because this thing's got so much wiring, the first nuclear blast would just melt it all. But the second one, you know, yeah, it would probably survive. But anyway, I'm going to get off here for now. I'm going to go figure out some water, and appreciate all you guys coming in to the live and commenting. Make sure you share it out to your friends, and if you're so inclined, I got new hats, stickers, and shirts at buffsgarage.com. Every little bit helps keep me unemployed right here in the shop working on junk. Like I said, I bought 4 more vehicles, and so at least for the next 5 weeks, you're going to have more content. plus duct tape drags. So if you're out that way, Tucson, Arizona, next weekend, come see me, Jay at Irish Outlaw Garage, John from Mad Scientist Garage, of course Dalton from Pole Barn Garage, and the inevitable Jim. Come see us all, hang out. Dalton's got free shirts, I've got free stickers and koozies. We want to see you all there, and if not, hit up our websites and help us out. Like I said, keep me unemployed. But thank you guys.